your other side of philosophy. One destiny by myself and not brothers. Separate the dust and flames with joy thought. The trust pursue that which your other brother tested the far side of philosophers. Prince of his Cretaceous is the greatest of us all.
The apex of human creation is the birth of life. Biology in its simplest form is merely the understanding of those that move within our world. Alchemy is not different. Harnessing the energies of many distant worlds is the bare necessities of such a practice. Perhaps that is the ideology of the curious alchemist Rheindotter. A woman of astute science and unshakable academic rigor, her ideologies of life transcended those of her peers, and those who witnessed her art witnessed the great births of creatures beyond one's imaginations. To her, the source of all life is the earth itself. Soil, chalk, energy, the trifecta of creation, the trifecta of the Art of Khemia. As such, her works and her curiosity soon grew. She birthed wolves of the Alphasol, the serpentine dragon of humus, and other machinations that feasted off an energy unknown. They, in a way not understood by you mortals, became a family of some sorts. However, whether it be through discontent or sheer uncontrolled ambition, she sought something higher, something just like her. Thus, the Primordial Human Project began, the mimicry of human life, in the pursuit of creating a perfected homunculus. To this day, it is still unclear when such a project began or what motivations the alchemist had for creating such a project in the first place. She worked tirelessly for her creations, perhaps years and years striving to achieve the apex creation. But as magnificent as she was as a maker, she was merely human. Mistakes after mistakes, failures after failures, prototype after prototype, the alchemist had tried the same experiment many times. Some of the rejects from the failed experiments had been discarded into the pits of the dragon's mouth, but had not died. Regardless, Rheindotter pursued her sciences until the fateful fall of the eclipse. The cataclysm of centuries past was an event forever etched into the pages of history, unforgotten and unforgiven. The crimson moon fell as the world burned anew. Creatures of abyssal energy, berserk and bloodthirsty, were seen across the entire Seven Nations. The culprit? The alchemist's gold and her descent into madness. Or so the books say. Was the goal of her shadowy army truly to consume Devat in all darkness? For gold has simply told her children a simple command. Go unto a lovely place, and display your own beauty there with pride. Had she given her children the freedom to choose such beauty, or was this all the sake for unbridled erudition? The stories do not know, for the stories only talked of the destruction in the Seven Nations, Mondstadt's fierce battle with the serpentine dragon, Liyue's pursuits against the monsters of the Iron Meteor, Inazuma's plight against the Black Wolves, and the fall of the God of the Woods. The tales would tell you no concrete beginning nor end, simply that the island in the sky set the ancient civilization of Conria to burn. The rest, however, is history. No one knew what became of the alchemist's gold, some stating they had died, some stating they fell into blinded ambition, some say the abyss claimed them once more. But what they didn't know was that she would simply still be working, as rigorous of an alchemist she is. The being known as Cretaceous was birthed from chalk, the substance transcending those birthed from black soil, a body of snow-white skin and ashen blonde hair. He was perfection, he was perfected, and he was perfect. The homunculus, the chalk prince. His master considered him to be the greatest amongst her creations. All the marvels in the world must pale before Cretaceous, the greatest work of them all. Upon his birth, both the master and the protege would adventure the world together. The synthetic human would soon learn and experience life and its creation. He was taught alchemy and its fundamentals, for all the universe comes from a single source, and all things may be derived from a single thought. The universe is the dark essence of the true starry sky, and the earth is the accumulated memories of time and lives. The chalk, that is you. Albedo is the name of the synthetic human, the second stage of alchemy that transcended the blackened soil. Albedo is a step of purification and cleansing of what is tainted, the whitening. Daughter was a strict and cold master, one who was unquestionably rigorous when teaching him the secrets of alchemy. He would be taught distant arts by his master, the creation of everything from nothing. The birth of trees from the palm of one's hands, flowers and fauna simply from the blueprints of one's art. The limitations of alchemy simply being the imagination of the wielder. He was taught about the distant worlds and the existence of creatures and life forms far beyond Tevat's grasps. Those were the fundamentals of which he would understand the art of Khemia. Though, this is where he would begin his interest in painting and drawing, the use of images to concise one's thoughts. At first, he would simply illustrate his notes with basic sketches, but he would soon notice the process of rendering things in great detail helped him to intimately understand their physical makeup, which was a great utility to his alchemical studies. Additionally, it also allowed him to enter into a pleasant state of clarity, in which he needed only to focus on observation and creating his artwork, and nothing else. His journey with his master is uneventful. He was merely her assistant taking notes as she would continue her research. There was no need for him to contemplate anything. Its meaning consisted of nothing more than accompanying his teacher, doing what she asked of him, and meeting her expectations. Days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months, months turned to centuries. His journey brought him through both the wonders and the woes of the world, until one day, master and apprentice delved into the trenches of the domains. It was here that the heart of Naberius beated, a mysterious artifact whose name bears the name of a demon god. Yet its origins and its purpose remain unknown to the travelers. Upon finding this artifact, the synthetic human was left by his master with a naught but a note. Go to Mondstadt, find my old friend Alice, and give her the recommendation letter. Then complete your final assignment. Perhaps this was Daughter's final test. Will he be able to pursue the road of alchemy alone? Is he worthy to be called her perfected creation? His hands were the last extant manuscripts of an ancient classical text, the Opus Magnum, the culmination of all he had learnt as an alchemist, and the written acknowledgement that she had nothing left to teach him. Loyal to his master's words, he went to Mondstadt, the land of the Animo Archon, a new city of beginnings, a new home for the synthetic human. Upon reaching the walled city of freedom, he would realize the weight of his master's disappearance. Along the way, he would find the secrets of the Primordial Human Project and the history of his creation. He would find the existence of the black serpentine dragon that ravaged the land, and understand that they are one kin. He would understand the weight of existence, and he would soon realize the difficulty of his final assignment. For this assignment surpassed anything he was given in the past, surpassed everything he knew as an alchemist. The synthetic human integrated itself into society, merging with those he now would consider as friends. Though relationships were tedious to the alchemist, he found himself conversing with all sorts of colorful people. The mysterious traveler of the stars, the tumultuous Spark Knight, the colorful cast of the Knights of Avonius, and the most powerful sorceress of the land. This was his new home. The people accepted the eccentric alchemist amongst their ranks, blissfully unaware of the inhumanity walking amongst them. Perhaps there were those that knew, but perhaps there were those that did not. No one would truly know. But Albedo's mission is not yet done. Through all the rigor and hard work, through all the vials, bottles, and test tubes on his tables, through all the papers he had yet to understand, through all the life forms he had yet to study, he is still at the early stages of his research. The truth of this world was still so far from his grasp.